What's up, guys? Sputterbot here. Got a little game of Search and Destroy here on Ghosts. This is on the map called Flooded, and I apologize for not having all those promised multiplayer videos. Honestly, I'm a gamer at heart, man. I've been playing the crap out of this game, just not producing videos. I've got about 51 hours in on the game. I mean, I could have more, but, you know, we had the thing called PS4 and Xbox One launch. But anyways, I wanted to come back because I want to do content, because I'm having a ton of fun playing Ghosts multiplayer, all right? So in this video, and I'm going to explain a little bit more about what our content's going to look like going forward in my next video, but in this one, I want to focus on weapons. I want to do some reviews and discussions about some of the weapons, in particular the weapons that I'm using on a regular basis, obviously the SMGs. This is one in particular that I'm using, and I've grown to really be fond of the Vector CRB for some reason. I've played, you know, somewhat extensively with the Bison, the Vector, a little bit on the Viper, and the K7. Not so much in the CBJ or the MTAR, and I'll talk about those, I guess, in subsequent videos, because I'm not too keen on some of the elements of those two weapons. But anyways, the Vector has grown to be my favorite. I'm not saying it's the best. I'm not saying it's like OP, because it's certainly not. It's just something that I like, and you know, the weapon stats, and we can talk about that. Here I'm running, you know, the Vector CRB without any attachments. It's got the 45 ACP rounds, which gives you this SMG is the highest damage, at least the max damage, the highest max damage in its class, and it also provides you with increased wall penetration. So it's not, you know, it's not the same as the armor-piercing rounds. It's a little bit different. It's a kind of a combination of just a larger round and maybe a bit with FMJ on it. Okay. So the damage is about 45%. So each bullet that hits a player, and the player being 100%, you know, it's going to damage them by 45. So if the guy's hurt below 55 or whatever, right, or below 45, then you're going to kill him with one bullet. But typically, if you run into a single individual, it'll take 3 bullets to kill him, unless one of those is a headshot. I mean, the headshot multiplier for SMGs is 1.5. So if one of the first 2 bullets that you're killing them with is and I get some good flurries here, I'm telling you right now. There are a couple of rounds here that are not so good, and I just get caught by some guys just sitting in sort of around corners. But I do get some pretty solid rounds in here on this game of Search. So yeah, if you hit, if you're going to hit a headshot in the first 2 bullets, then you're taking them down in 2 bullets, all right? And it's a little bit different from Black Ops 2. I mean, Black Ops 2 was a slower rate of killing. I mean, it was 3 to 4 bullets, or 4, you know, without any headshot multipliers, and here we're looking at 3. So I think there's a bit of a difference, and I think a lot of people were complaining about dying too quickly in Ghosts versus Black Ops 2. But I really like it. It gives the gameplay is a lot more frenetic, in my opinion, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So the other advantage that I really like with the Vector is that it has the greatest range. Okay, it has the greatest range of any of the SMGs, and you know, for me, I always run a silencer, so it doesn't matter. Yes, you can put a muzzle brake on some of the other SMGs, and the range will become, you know, greater than its base range, and may become more comparable to a Vector CRB without the muzzle brake. But I'd like to run silencer, so the silencer is going to bring us down to 3/4 of our range, right? I mean, it reduces the range. It doesn't reduce the damage, it reduces the range by 25%. And that's where I got caught by this guy. And you'll see, I don't know if it's the next round or a round later, where I get caught by the same guy, and he was right in front of me, but I was expecting him to be around the corner. It's kind of like I get tunnel vision sometimes. So, yeah, we're spectating here anyway. So it's definitely got some good range. I mean, second place is the K7, and then the MTAR, and the CBJ. And this is part of the reason I don't like the CBJ, is it's got less than half that maximum damage range for SMGs than the Vector, right? So, you know, I'd like to get in. Obviously, I'm playing close quarters. I mean, I'm running SMGs. I'm trying to flank. I'm trying to create angles with my opponents, and I'm trying to get into close corners. But there are also times where you're not going to be in those close quarters, and where that additional range definitely helps. And I really like having that ability to not only, you know, have the rapid fire on for the really close quarter fights, but then also, if I see somebody at range and he's not necessarily looking right back at me with an assault rifle, because he'll probably kill me before I can kill him, but at least I have a chance, or I can, if he's not looking at me at the moment, that I could take him out and probably burst fire. I mean, you definitely want to try and burst fire a bit more, especially with the rapid fire on the Vector at any sort of medium to long range, right? So, I mean, on the downside, right, so all these weapons, all the SMGs, they obviously some have their advantages, some have their disadvantages. Some of the disadvantages we can look at here is that the minimum damage, when you're at a longer range, it drops from 45 to 20, so it's going to take you 5 bullets to kill an opponent, right? And that's even, even with the headshot multiplier, if you get one of those bullets and one of them is a headshot, it's still going to take you 5. If you get 2 headshots, then it's going to take you 4, right? You get where I'm going with that? It's a 1.5 times multiplier. So, that's obviously on the downside. If you look at the highest minimum damage SMG, which is the MTAR, it's got a 25, so it's going to take 4 bullets. So, if you're going to be at range a lot and you still want to run an SMG, then perhaps the MTAR is the choice. But for me, I think the Vector has just an all-around good feel for me. I mean, it's not only the stats that we look at, it's, how does the weapon feel? How do I play with it? How does it handle? What's the recoil like, right? And I'm not going to do, an overblown analysis of recoil and show you the spread patterns, etc., because I don't need to. I just, I play with the gun. I play it for hours on end, and, I'm trying to unlock the gold camos for all the guns. So it's based more on feel than just looking at numbers and a spread pattern on a wall, all right? Now, the other thing you got to take into consideration in the SMG class is not only the damage, but the rate of fire, right, or the rounds per minute, and that gives you a certain value for, it's like your time to kill, right? So if you're running 1,000 rounds per minute and it takes 3 bullets, what's your time to kill? Well, the time to kill with the Vector, and I'm not going to get into the specific numbers, but let's just say it's the second highest, all right, of the SMGs. So it's rated number 5 on the list of 6 SMGs, all right? But if you factor in, rapid fire as well as headshot multipliers, I mean, all the SMGs become approximately equivalent. I mean, are you really going to split hairs over 1/100th of a second or several hundredths of a second in comparison of the time to kill with some of these SMGs with the rapid fire and the headshot multipliers factored in, right? So I don't really, focus a whole lot on that. I'll try to use the weapons significantly to a significant number of hours using the weapons, and I get a pretty damn good feel for how the weapon's acting and how the weapon reacts and acts versus the other weapons in that class, because I use them so much, okay? So the other advantage that I find with the Vector is it has the quickest handling times. When you look at time to aim down your sights, I mean, it's tied with most of the other SMGs, but if you look at adding time, like adding ammunition to your magazine, or reloading when you have ammo in your magazine already, or reloading from empty, it's got the quickest time out of all the SMGs. And really I find, and that's where I had the tunnel vision, right? The guy was right in front of me and I was so focused and had my tunnel vision focus on coming around the corner. But, you don't need, typically I don't run sleight of hand anyway for faster reloading, but especially with the best SMG in class for reload time, you need that perk even less. So that's another advantage that the Vector has over all the other guns. The other thing, actually, this is relating to all the SMGs that I wanted to mention to you, because we did some mobility testing the other week, just testing every single combination or every single gun to see, what are the differences in the mobility, and we set up, a standard course, run back and forth, basically. And the SMGs, I mean, it doesn't make any sense to even run, like I don't run a secondary, right, for a handgun, especially in search. I might do it in another game mode, or I might run extended mags in another game mode, but not in search and destroy, because, the Vector, even though it's got the lowest ammo capacity, it's got a 32 round mag, and that's the tied for the K7 for the lowest out of all the SMGs. But I still find that, there's only 6 players in the opposite team, right? For search and destroy, even if I run into 2 or 3 players, I can pretty much take them out with 1 magazine without having to reload. But then I also have the quicker reload, so that's obviously an advantage. But yeah, for the mobility testing, It's the same as the handguns. SMGs and handguns are exactly the same. The only thing that's faster, and it's only a very, very slight advantage, is the combat knife. And that would be running as a primary, so there's no way to run a combat knife in SMG, right? So it's still, you know, I think in Black Ops 2 I might run an SMG with a handgun. I'm not sure if there was a difference there, but we don't have to worry about that here. And I love the class configuration where I don't have to run a secondary. The only thing that's faster than the combat knife is the Maniac Juggernaut. So, yeah, I tried to fit everything in there, guys, for the Vector. I hope I managed it, and I did get taken out there, but I think my teammate does come out with a win. I think I got 5 out of 6. Did I get 5 out of 6 on that round? I think there were 2 rounds where I actually got 5 out of 6 players taken out. I did have the 4 deaths. One was the corner camper guy, and then one was just me, you know, zoning out and going around the corner, and he was obviously right in front of me. But that's one thing, you know, with rushing. I love to rush, and I do sound whore a lot, but you can't check every single corner, especially on these maps. I mean, even if you weren't rushing, you would be moving so damn slow checking every single corner that, you know, it's kind of pointless because you could have enemy players come up behind you almost at any point in time. So it's kind of difficult that way, but you just get to know it, and you get to know the players, especially if you stay in the same lobby with them, right? So that's the Vector. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to try and do the rest of the SMGs here very, very soon, as well as bring you some other content, and I'll be detailing what kind of content we're going to be bringing for the multiplayer perspective to give you more variety than I have in the past, you know, and break out of my search and destroy single weapon shell that I've been in past CODs. All right, that's it for now. I'm Spider, and I'm out.